Hello, I'm Kavi Kanapur Das. I thank you all for coming to the show. I played the magician in the movie that you just saw, and I helped with the production, and I was directing it, and I wrote the script, and it was based on a book that I was writing for the last 12 years. Recently published in Guyana. It was called Mentally-ville, and it was a metaphysical book about cowboys, an allegorical story about a kid that had a Wild West town in his head, and all of these characters. The sheriff was the intelligence, the mind was the deputy, and the false ego was this preacher. Everybody loved the preacher, but he lied to everybody. It was quite a difficult book to write, very painstaking. Everything had to correspond, everything internal had to correspond to the external. But it was all kind of marked out on a Vedic paradigm. When I met Brian Hamilton, Bhagavan Narada from Dreamland, then we kind of decided to there was a rock musician. She was interested in doing a movie at the temple, and we decided to put together a script, and we were on our way to Mexico, and he said, change it up, Wild West, we can't, that's too much to do with you, where we're going to get a Wild West town, best we do a movie in a circus. So we changed the circus to we changed the Wild West town to a circus, and then we kind of developed it further. I sat down, I wrote a script out, and I kept going back and forth and trying to change things, trying to make it more readable, and we decided on a silent movie, and it would all be scored by Dreamland. And after that we kind of went into production. We had an idea that we could just film it all in 3 weeks, and money wouldn't be a problem, but it took ages. It took so long to film. It was just, it was fun, and it was also hell as well. It was very difficult at times just to get things together, because nobody was getting paid. It was all like voluntary, and the people who did it was, all, thank you, for, helping out, because nobody was really, there's no motive other than just let's do something, for Krishna. We would go out at night, and we would sell flowers into bars. We would get these flowers that people throw away. Big supermarkets throw away flowers in America, and we took the flowers, and we went into bars and we sold them to people, drunkard people. Hey, so do you like some roses, sir? You a romantic, sir? Buy some flowers for that lady, sir. And people, we were able to raise money to buy props. We bought wood to build a box, that the magician sawed in half, and we bought clown suits, and it was a lot of fun actually buying the props. I get stressed, but like Brian would walk off set and those kind of things, have like a tantrum like they do in Hollywood. It was really, really exciting, and you can see in some of the scenes actually. There's one point where Brian's poking me in the face, and it wasn't acting, it was just like frustration, because but it did seem to work quite well. But I was happy with the freedom I actually had on that project. It was good to work with so many people who were just cool, with these outrageous ideas, that I had, because this book had been in the making for like 10 years, and I had never got around to actually showing it to anybody else. So then when I started talking about it with the devotees in San Antonio, then they wanted to do something, and I was really pleased. I was like, finally, and it makes sense. It actually makes sense to somebody else other than myself. So it was a very interesting process to see it come out of the book and actually into real life, into 10, 12 hours in front of a computer screen every day, just click, 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 change this, change that. And it was fun, it was. It just consumed you, though. It just, if you're going to make a movie, you have to follow it to the end. So you just, inspiration is like a horse that bolts, and you're just hanging on. That's all you can do. So that's what I tried to do with the, in the edit was, there was always like this inner kind of bliss that I wanted to just get the thing finished, And after I actually finished the final edit and actually got it off the computer onto a disc, I was writhing around on the floor in ecstasy. I was just out of my head with just like finally, after months and months and months, maybe about 5 months or something, I was just, but then, it didn't end there, it still goes on, so. But the themes that ran through the Circus of the Self were, how is this movie going to help people? We wanted to write something that wasn't just, mindless violence or some kind of X-rated scenes that would, cheap things to try and get people to go and see the movie. We wanted to impress people on an intellectual level, and it's a very deep movie, and it's a movie that is not open for interpretation. It's not a weird movie, because weird movies are made by people and they just leave it open to people's imagination. And they say, well, whatever people want to think about the movie, you can think about the movie. But this movie is not like that. This movie, it follows it has a beginning and a middle and an end, and the characters in it are not open for your own interpretation. The clown is the mind, the intelligence is a magician, the monster is the false ego, the interaction. It's a movie that goes from darkness to light. We wanted to make a horror type movie. It wasn't horror per se, it was more like a dark fantasy, because we don't want just blood splatter, that's easy, or jump scare, anybody can do that. But we wanted to get a movie that would make people think, and really kind of push, the levels of consciousness, to see how far we could, But the main theme, I suppose, was identity. This girl who was actually searching for her true self, who she was, beyond the animals of the circus. It was all about the girl in the box. The girl in the box, as you know, that was the actual identity, the true identity, the soul that was chained up and useless ultimately, as we all are chained up within material bodies and so forth. And at the end, we can use our mind, we can use our intelligence. These are tools that we use to actually free ourselves, and that's what we saw in the movie. It was really a journey of self-discovery that the girl went on to the highest levels of self-realization, through association with this girl that she met in the psychiatry lounge, who was guru, who had clear vision. She knew what was going on. She could read that girl like a book. As soon as she walked into the room, there was this instant connection and so forth, and there was an exchange, there was the type of initiation. There is a lot of confusion around the film. It may be the easiest film to understand. I wish I could have, refilmed it and made it a little bit more clear. Maybe it needed more flashcards, and we're open to, input and feedback, so that we can actually maybe do another re-edit and add a few things if necessary to make it more understandable. Because we don't want to just make it a weird film that nobody understands, but it's genius, and because nobody understands it, it's genius. There's too many of movies like that out there, this surrealist kind of thing that may have some meaning, but it's not open, it's not, there's no access for the audience, And you read about like Narnia. Narnia was actually about Christ, the Lion of Christ, but who knew that? Everybody I speak to, Narnia was about Christ. No, I didn't know that. We'll go online, Google it, So we wanted to make it accessible, that they could follow the story and that they could get the philosophy in an entertaining way. So that's what we did. And I hope that you liked the show, and say goodbye. Thank you very much, for being here, and thank you for your support. Hare Krishna.